Let's see. You guys are just glued to your chairs here, aren't you?
Sorry?
You guys are just glued to your chairs?
Well, I'm actually stuck in the floor. On my screen, like, my head is the only thing sticking out from it.
Hello, everybody.
Both of you two
Let
can
me use
get
the
off.
actual
Oh.
Discord because I still hear it, but you guys can't. So let's get started, shall we? And before we start, I just want to let you know we got special guests for a panel. We're watching them today, so I don't know how long the stream's gonna go for, but whoever's interested, please join the server for $5. I'd be happy to play with you. It all goes to charity, and I'm happy to go. A good event. I know. Let's get started though. What did I get myself into?
So you guys can build whatever you want. I'm gonna build a conference table here. You guys. Let's see. How many people do we have? 2, 3, 4. 4 from Shopville. And 1, 2 from you guys. As you can tell, I'm the best builder you've ever seen.
This is some professional level stuff. Doc, I think we should get a zombie head to hold, because clearly you are the Manzi dude. So I've got my head still for narration. So, visual representation, man. Come on. Come on, just not get the memo. Oh, blasted. Oh, gosh. You saw nothing. You saw nothing.
Let's take a screenshot, shall we?
Emerson, what did you do?
Nah, never mind. Never mind.
Who's having issues here?
We've all got issues, man.
oh my. They can't hear me, but it's funny. Oh wait, I need to unmute them. 1 second. Okay, we're good.
Here, oh, but you can't sit in them, Toothy. They need to be stairs. This does look cool, though.
There we go.
Everyone in the Craftathon Slack is asking who the special guest is going to be. Not even my staff know. Alright, where is... Murga's here.
Hello.
Okay,
Nothing.
where is Andrew? Andrew, do you have perms to get on the server?
I've not tried yet.
Okay.
I
I
remember
sent you a message. I think I know who it is.
my game ran with a dare team or something.
Again, I'm not answering anyone.
I didn't know you. I didn't say that. I didn't know that.
What the devil is this?
I was just making a quick throw, but I thought I better not do.
You're fired.
Ooh, I like this. I like this too.
Oh, the Lord Commander, right in the middle, of course. Leading course.
Move. I mean.
Wait, there's not enough seats. Oh.
I'm just gonna have to stay permanently toggle seat.
Can't we sit in them though?
No.
Yeah, you can right click the.
Alright.
Fortunately, that does not work.
Oh, it's because there's a block above it. Wait, let me try that. No, blocks on the side? Or maybe behind?
You know what? It's fine. Do you know what? It's
What?
fine. I'm just gonna sneak. I'm just gonna stay. It'll be fine. It'll look absolutely fine.
Wait, oh, maybe maybe it's not oak or whatever these are called. Oak wood, yeah. Let me try this. Wait, can anyone go into seats? I'm so confused. Someone's echoing, by the way.
Yeah, it only seems to be the sandstone that works.
Huh. Okay. Can we make it sandstone? Let me just try sandstone. Does that work too?
Hopefully
Yeah, that
echo
works.
Okay, how do I get to where you guys are?
Just go to the panel server.
Clearly, they're doing a panel.
Which is not what I'm on.
I'll
I
link it
guess
to you
not.
guys.
I'll send you.
Okay.
There we go. That player is not online.
I'll link you guys that.
What?
Oh,
It's basically
sorry.
saying this is a panel that I would be actually more
Why
hyped
can't
to
I
see.
place it here too?
You guys are
Alright,
interested,
I'm
please
back on.
buy a ticket and join us.
Alright.
I'll be there to watch, and
There we
I'm
go.
not a guest, but
Cool.
I am still something doing that.
And let me give you terms. Nice, there you go. Does that work?
Cool, thank you.
Too? Yeah.
Alright.
Let me check something, guys. I might not check chat for a second.
I give
Oh,
everyone
I might
sandstone.
have found a little bug. I'm sitting down in a chair, but then I can get off it, so like I'm riding a horse round.
Yeah, it should cancel it once you stop running. That's a client-side bug, but it doesn't look like it for us.
Oh, right, okay.
I believe that is 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, he's the panel starting, guys.
Boris, what is not working? Where's Boris? There's Boris. If you're wearing a hat, you can't throw snowballs.
No! Too bad. Who cares about snow?
Nice, Toothy. Can you
Who cares
place...
about
Yeah, right
snowballs?
This is annoying me.
I can join the panel server anymore.
You can't?
No, when I'm in
What
the
is-
lobby, there's like player selector and then player turn off moderator mode or something. And when I press on the panel server, like the NPC, and try to join it, just nothing happens.
You have to be in moderate. You have to right-click the cookie to exit moderator mode, and then.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Sorry.
It's alright.
So I'll be
I just
checking
gave you all
chat
full
this time around,
permissions
guys.
so
Sorry
right now.
if you are looking at that on Twitch. Usually I use straight Twitch.
Alright, guys. This is a pretty nice.
It's
Pretty
nice setup.
more popular. This kind of
You guys, if you haven't cleared your inventory, you can also have your hats and particles. You're gonna right-click your hat selector. I'm gonna go with a big slime so no one can see Navarre. There we go. Right here.
Oh.
And lava particles for even more obstruction.
Yeah, this stream actually can do 1080,
Perfect.
60 FPS, so that's good.
Toothy, can you give me a nice chair? My chair is pretty ugly. Like,
Yeah,
scoot
you
it back
can
a
do
bit.
1080, 60 FPS because my computer can handle it. Congrats, you can watch it. Full HD. Yeah, boy. Hey, don't hit me with those balls.
Alright, Jesse.
Don't hit me. Don't hit me.
I don't give a left arm rest.
Wait, who's Jerome? That's Jerome.
Uh-oh. Panel should have started already. Okay, let's just make sure everyone has the script pulled up.
Get the heck off my seat, laddie! Or I'll flippin' stab ya. Honestly.
Nice save. Nice save. Okay, you guys ready?
Alright. Let's do this!
Alright.
Alright. Welcome everyone to the game design panel. We are very lucky to have staff members from both Shopbo and Civ War servers here today to tell us about how they design games and then give a Q&A. A list of our panelists from Shopbo include Navarre, which is a Shopbo developer, Doc, a Shopbo developer, Andrew64MC, the Mindsy lead admin, and Murgatron, a Shopbo administrator. And then from Civ War, we have Delis, the Civ War, one of the Civ War owners, as well as Benjamin Gogurts, the other owner and then also developer. And let's start off really quick by going around and having each person introduce themselves for what they do on their server. Take it away, Navar.
Hey, I'm Navar. I'm part of the leadership over at Shotbow. My day-to-day includes development on games, the website, managing our social media presence, and basically everything else possible.
Nice. Doc?
I'm Doc, also known as Doc Code Sharp. I'm the lead dev of MindZ. I help out a lot of people too that have questions about code. I'm just your normal, natural nerd and geek.
Nice. Andrew?
My name is Andrew, obviously. I'm the lead admin on MindZ, which I've been playing for quite some time, about 4 or 5 years now. And basically, I keep it in check and make sure I have devs getting stuff done, basically Doc, and make sure everyone's having a good time and make sure we're doing what the community wants. So, yeah.
Awesome. Murgatron.
Hello everyone, I'm Murgatron. I'm one of the administrators for Shotbow. I currently do development for Annihilation. I'm not a developer, but I just shout at the devs and I say, please do this. That's pretty much me.
Nice. And let's go on to Jealous now.
Hey, Devs here. I own and operate Civil, a game mode inspired by the Civilization games, and I'm here to mainly talk about how we took an award-winning game and we put it into Minecraft to try and keep the same depth as the original game.
Nice. And Benjamin?
Hi, I'm Benjamin. I'm the co-owner of Civwar, which I'm also developing. As Dallas already said, it's based off Sid Meier's Civilization, and we will be talking how we could make this type of game inside of Minecraft.
Awesome. Okay, so now let's just have Navar quickly start us off by telling us more in depth about Shotbow, its games and its history, just so people know.
So Shotbow is a very old server. We weren't called Shotbow back when we started, but 2012 was the big year everything began. In early February, High Life created a new genre by launching the game HC Factions. You've probably heard of some game called HC Factions since then. After that, he found Laser Tester, started our next big project, MindZ, which launched that summer to critical acclaim and massive popularity. We didn't stop there, though. We continued with new games like Last Man Standing and Ghostcraft, merged into the Shotbow network, and then in 2013, we had a sort of victory lap with Smash, Wasted, and our now most popular game, Annihilation. Since then, things have slowed down a little bit, except for our drive to produce fun games. After Annihilation, we launched Light Bike, Slaughter, Death by Void, Flappy Check, Sweepers, MindZ2, Assault, and Mind Theft Auto, with still more games on the way. We learned very early on that in order to have a truly fun and engaging games, you need to take risks and produce new original content.
Awesome. And now Benjamin, Gogurt, and Dallas telling us about Civ War.
Hi, I want to start off with Civ War. It's an incredibly ambitious server-sided game mode. When many people first load up Civ War or join a server, they're extremely surprised at how why they're not using a client-side mod for this, just for the extreme amount of content we put into a vanilla server. It's crazy how we managed to put all these features from the actual Civilization game straight into our server. And we want to talk about how we made that happen and what's the best process you can use to ensure you put the right content in and you have the right ambitions.
Nice. Okay, so we're just going to do some random questions first, and once we have those all answered, we'll go to Q&A. So let's start off with this question. What are the key ideas in order to make a successful game? And anyone can answer this.
Make it fun. That's the bottom line. Make it fun. If it's not fun, make it fun.
Yeah, and you need to make it user-friendly, that there's not like you need to explain how it exactly works. It needs to be original as well, because there's like 10,000 Skywars servers already, so you just have to make something new, just like Shotbow did with Annihilation, or we did with Civ War.
Nice. Okay. I guess on to the next question then. What is your best way to collect ideas to make new features in your games?
So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll answer this one. For Civ War, the main way we collect ideas is obviously from civilization games, thinking of how we could put those and implement them into Minecraft, which is quite a trivial problem. As you can see, completely different games. However, we managed to close that gap more and more with each update we do. For example, this is our religion update, which we did quite a while ago when we had an older version of the game mode. Initially, it didn't work very well. There were so many flaws we had to try and put religion into Minecraft. Essentially, how it worked was a player would go to the Nether to collect certain resources to gain religion and gain religious pressure in order to win victory points towards eventually the civilization's victory. So we had to filter. So the way we did this is we looked at the actual religion from Sidmir's, and we thought, how could we create things like those religious points, and how we could put those into Minecraft. So the way we did this was we actually took, as I just said, people would go off and be able to mine certain resources from the Nether to actually gain that religious pressure. The reason why we chose the Nether is because in the overworld, it's quite easy to find a lot of resources. We wanted to make players go out of the way while having fun and do something unique, what they're not usually doing, which is going to the Nether, fighting mobs, and making sort of a not really used sort of area such as the Nether, not used as much, more and more used. So we wanted to use that way to make it as fun as possible, to keep on looking at ways we can advance the players to use different things inside the game.
Nice. That was nice. Anyone else?
For Annihilation, obviously, we have just moved Shopbo from a base of 1.7 to a base of 1.9. So we now have a lot of the 1.9 and also 1.8 features that are now accessible to us. So we have included some of those, such as Mercenaries, new ability. Current ability has been updated to use the glow effect. It's much more user-friendly and ease of use for the players when they use the Mark of Death. So obviously, as we evolve and update our modes, we are looking at the new versions. Thank you, Navarre. You blighter. I'm stealing your seat. So when we're looking for ideas, the easiest place for me is always the forums, because there I can look at the discussion, I can see where the ideas are coming from, how they're being formulated, and I can see how the users are interacting with each other. Unfortunately, I don't think Shopbo is unique to this. A lot of our player base doesn't use the forums. They use other interactions like Twitter, and they also just talk amongst themselves, especially in the Discord. So we have a couple of our Japanese people who regularly give us feedback based on the Japanese part of our player base. I'd say that that is the best way, but you have to be open to other avenues as well. Twitter, you do get some good suggestions over there, so just keep in mind, everybody.
Don't forget the Reddit too.
Don't get me started. No. Move on.
All right. How do you filter out the potentially bad ideas?
I sort of had something that I wanted to talk about this, because with Civ 4 we've experienced this a lot. So if I just get up here 1 second. So to explain this the best way I can, I'm going to sort of create a little bit of a diagram. Wait 1 second. Let me just change the off push to talk.
I think I'll just fill in quickly here, just to say that the worst ideas I ever see on our forums are ideas that are not thought through enough. So obviously with each class in Annihilation, each class is unique, and we want to try and keep that uniqueness. What we get a lot of players suggesting is, you should do X, you should do Y. But because we have such a varied amount of classes and roles and what they can do, if somebody says, right, you should give Miner haste 2, so when their Gold Rush ability is haste 2, well, that then detracts from Tinker's ability to give haste pads. So they don't quite think through, how does each class interact with each other? How does it maintain its uniqueness? At other times, it's just completely underbalanced. They don't think about, how will this affect the gameplay? I mean, let's be honest, it's great when you are an all-powerful player. You can one-hit players, but as a kit to start off with at the start of a game, that's broken. That sucks for everybody else. You want a unique aspect of gameplay. You want to be able to have an edge. But I can't give you a class which is basically your god. That's just silly. So you just have to consider balance. And I think the important thing is to actually respond to those players. we have people on the forums who constantly post, I don't want to say bad ideas, but not developed ideas. And it's good and it's important for you as staff to give your feedback, even if it's completely negative, as long as you're constructive and you say and explain your reasoning. That's the only way they're ever going to learn and give you potential suggestions in the future that you can actually use and implement.
All right. So yeah, what I was going to explain quickly about this potentially bad ideas. So bad ideas, I think, can come in many forms. You've got sort of bad ideas in terms of balance, bad ideas that don't fit your game mode, and just generally bad ideas that you don't think that will work. So initially, this happens when you're developing a game mode, or if you're doing an update or anything at all. Even indie devs, this happens all over. So first, say you're the indie dev and you're this Ampersand just here. You're coming out with your own ideas. So we're going to say your ideas are the green wall, and that's all. A lot of people will turn on Vision and just think of all their own ideas and only do all their ideas on the green wall. So the problem is with that, you're not thinking about, you're thinking about what you think is just the best idea for the game mode or the update or whatever. So that becomes an issue when you eventually get to the community and the community only don't understand. They're not inside your head. They don't know what those thoughts are, and they may not see where you're coming from. So obviously you have the community ideas as well. So say your community ideas are the black wall. And then you got to think they're only based around what they've experienced on the game, and maybe thing is their ideas could be biased as well. They could be just to make their lives easier. Maybe some of the community's lazy. Maybe some of the community want just to be their way. So you got to find a nice balance between those in order to create the game that you want to. So you got to filter both sides of those ideas where you can balance in between and sort of take ideas from both and create a balanced idea, which eventually will hopefully be your red wall, and then you have a great idea, or for a game mode, or even just an update, and then eventually with that you'll be able to push an update which hopefully everyone will like. Even then, with that, say that red wall issue idea, it may not work. It may not plan to come out. It may not be as balanced as good as you can. It never always works. That's the point where you need to make sure you go back to the drawing board, ask yourself where it went wrong and what happens, and then you got to go back to the drawing board, as I just said, and then think of how you can balance that and push it back out again.
And then it was quiet.
This entire time, and I was talking. That's great. Okay. One more time. What is the most effective and efficient way to develop? Mark, are you seriously building a Nexus?
Yes, of course.
Who wrote?
Well, the most efficient way to develop is just trying things out in my eyes. It's you just have to try things out. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's no really an efficient way to develop in that way. It's just making it yourself as easy as you can.
I'm thinking about what is the most efficient way for developers to communicate, work together, and get it done the quick while still having a good outcome without bugs, filtering out the bugs, doing all this different stuff for development. Do you have any developers?
If you have a bigger game mode, you should every developer should work on something else. And not have two developers work on the same thing, because the best way you understand code is working on your own code. So you just dev your own thing, and then you can test it with your whole dev team or a separate team that can just test the features which you added. The most important thing is that you test the features yourself as well, because you know where a flaw can be inside of a game mode. Lots of testing is the most important thing to prevent bugs from going live on a server.
Nice. All right. What is the best way to implement or deploy an update to a popular pre-existing game? How about Merg? Because Merg knows about that.
I mean, I don't develop, so I'm not sure if I can answer this the best way. But I mean,
publish it live. I mean, there's no real other. I mean,
you can do. I mean, you can do a bit of internal testing. So obviously, you develop the idea from feedback or from your own thought process. You can then test that in a sandbox environment. That's what we do, with everything from security features, which you guys don't know about, to actual game mode ideas and features that you will see. That is the best way I see about doing it. You try and get a small group initially. You will handpick community members who you know will be, not so much, for lack of a better term, people who the community sees as suck-ups. People who are always praising the staff, but actually, what you want are people who are critical of you, but in a way that you can take that criticism and say, okay, they're not just being jerks, they're not just being nasty, they are actually trying to give me feedback on their the problem is with Annihilation is a lot of it is subjective. A lot of people hate Scout, a lot of people love Scout. So obviously when I'm doing it, if I change up Scout's mechanics, it's very difficult to get an idea of what the broader community will be. It's much easier for something like a less popular class like, say, Riftwalker or Hunter. And before anybody asks, no, we're not bringing back the wolves yet. But that is how we do it. You pick a small group, do internal testing, beta test. You then go for an open beta, which is what Civil will be doing soon for their game, and you test again. And then you go public and you just hotfix as you go. I mean, we released our new class, which was Robin Hood, about 6 weeks ago now. No, 4 weeks ago. And within 2 weeks, we realized, yeah, he was rubbish. He really didn't work as well as we hoped. So we tweaked him. And again, he's still not quite there. So again, we will tweak it again. But we're not going to playtest that. We know what we need to do. So for the first time release, beta test, public. Next time for ongoing, just hotfix it. That seems to be the easiest way and gets things out into the field quicker.
Nice. That was really good. Okay. Let's see. What is the best process to balance new changes if they are unbalanced?
Well, it depends on which game mode you're, of course, talking for. In Civ War, it's just like testing how it exactly goes, possibly on a test server on your own or with other players. If it's just like balancing numbers, you really should do lots of math to actually count like how much you will get from a certain thing. It's kind of hard to explain. For example, we have a structure, it turns cobblestone into ores, and you just have to test it out how it exactly goes. That it doesn't output too much ores, but not too less as well. And that's hard to balance, but it depends on like the player base you're with and those things as well. It just depends on lots of things.
What I like to do in Mind Z with balancing is like to make it when I start to create new stuff like Andrew requests or I want a request to put in, I make it as powerful as possible just to see what it could do and then kind of start scaling it back. Because there's points where like we were tweaking Pigman and I made them to the point where if you touch them, it just blew up the world.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what it would do. And then you start to balance it down. And that's what I like to do with balancing.
A safer alternative is to start smaller and get bigger. But if you start big, you can test out like what the max basically damage a legendary or whatever you're putting in the game can do, and then you can bring it down to a good balance. One of the things we've had to do a lot with MindZ is balance loot, especially with dungeons. I haven't been completely doing this. It's been a lot of the builders and Halo Wars too, but what we basically do is we test as much as we think we can with something, but at some point we say, all right, well, we've done a lot of testing, that's it, we're putting it out. And we watch it for a week, we look in the forums, we see what people say basically, and then from there we can say, all right, they're not liking this, they're getting too much milk, they don't really need all this extra milk, there's not enough food. And then we'll go back and we'll tweak the chest, and we might not even put a post out, we might just change it, not say anything, and then see if the threads about it start to die down, and we just sort of see how the community reacts as we shift different things in the loot table until we have a balance. And it's never perfect, we're always tweaking. That's the big thing.
Nice. All right. Next question. Let's see. Mostly Navarre here. How do you advertise and publish your updates so new players can experience the awesome updates?
So as long as it's a big update, we sort of try to get our internal film crew to do a video about it, post it to the YouTube, post it to the forums, post it on Twitter. If it's really big, we'll try to do a couple Twitter updates. You know, it's pretty typical stuff.
Okay, nice. Let's see. That was the last question I have for you guys. So before we do Q&A, do you guys have anything else to add for game design in general? No, not really. Okay, so we're gonna start questions generally about game design. So how this works in a few seconds, I'll start accepting questions, and for anyone in the audience, you can just do /ask, and then the questions. So we've just started the questions, and I will feed them to you through Discord if I think it's a good question. So audience, feel free to ask any questions about game design. What game maker should I use? Asked by Decent Chickens.
This is a great one. If you're a beginner, I really highly suggest. Are you thinking about just general game design, or is it you talking specifically about Minecraft?
I think he can't talk, so.
Okay. I guess just 3D stuff. I'd highly suggest Unreal Engine 4. It's free. That's the best part, and it doesn't use actual coding. It uses something called blueprints instead, where it's much easier to learn. So with UE4, you got tons of free assets. It's a visual editor as well. It's all there in front of you, and without actually having to be a developer, you can learn how to make really cool games. There's a huge array of tutorials out there for Unreal Engine as well, and it's great to make little games with, like little Temple Run style games, or little FPS games, which you can sort of practice, sort of actually start making games. You can eventually step up from there and learn more about different engines and different sort of platforms you can use, such as Unity. But obviously, I wouldn't suggest going away from Unreal Engine 4 unless you actually had some sort of development knowledge, especially in C#. But yeah, I definitely Unreal Engine 4 is free.
Nice. Okay, next up by Borshoes. Will Wasted ever come back?
Yes, it will. It will come back. Yeah, you go. Yep.
Yeah, it's just standby. It's in the process of it's coming back. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I want to say. Cause yeah.
Can we hold up the Chapo and Civor questions until after the game design portion? Because people still have some game design questions, guys. So let's do that later. Android Oreo asks, how did you learn to make these amazing games?
What I did is I went to school for something completely different than coding, and I sat down one day and I bought a book. Actually, it was my fiance's book, and I just opened it and read it. Like, there's tons of stuff you can learn. Like, you can go to the library if you have a public library, and they have like beginning courses on how to code, and that's how I started. And then I just read the book, downloaded the free application, and started coding. And then eventually, for work, I do it for a full-time job now. And it's just, you just got to sit down, get yourself to wanting to learn it, and just like read, or there's even YouTube videos out there of people who explain stuff. I mean, there's so much avenues you can take to learn nowadays.
Awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Would you rather do something like Spigot or use a custom server software?
They both have their benefits.
Okay.
What we're using is Paper Spigot. It doesn't really I don't know. I prefer to use Spigot because it's like, in my eyes, I always used it, and it's better in my eyes. But yeah.
Cool. All right, nice. Next question. How many days or months do you normally spend in total before releasing each game?
9,000 hours. No, seriously.
Unlimited.
It honestly depends on the mode. I mean, you look at a mode like MineZ, do you count it as just initial release? Do you count the development hours afterwards, hot fixing bugs? I mean, for things like Flappy Chick, I think Laser spent maybe 10 hours of that thing. Gold Rush is continuously ongoing. You know, smaller modes in the arcade like Light Bikes, again, I think Laser did that in a week. Crafting Mama, but the bigger the mode typically, the more it is. I mean, the next Annihilation update we're planning, we've been developing more or less continuously for the last 4 weeks. When I say continuously, it's important to note that nobody at Shopbo does this as a job. We all do it in our free time. Yeah. We do it as a hobby. We do it as just a pastime. We're not doing 9 to 5, put it that way. We're usually doing it from 5 a.m. in the morning, you know, till 8 o'clock at night on our weekends to make up for lost time. So it's difficult. Lots is probably the easiest answer. Lots and lots and lots and lots of hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like he said already, it really depends on the game mode. For example, Civ War has been in development for over 4 years. It has been in several stages of development, of course, but it's just always updating. It depends on the update. It depends on the game mode itself. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Black Belt Panda asks, how do you handle running multiple instances of a game?
SQL servers. Like you can have multiple servers running at once as long as you're saving them to one central location, which would be a good SQL server. You can have multiple servers running the same code all at the same time as long as the data is saved in one location and loads from one location. That makes it a lot easier. Like if there were no servers for SQL servers or data storage servers, it would be almost impossible to do. That's what makes it a lot easier to do.
Nice. Okay. Next question. No, not that one. Okay. If you have the time, would you do game development for a job rather than a hobby?
Yeah.
Yes?
I've been looking into this. Like my current job situation is okay, and I've been thinking about applying at game companies because that's all our dreams, really. Everyone in this room that develops, right? I mean, but no one would say no. They would love to do it all full time.
I'm not a developer. I'd love to do it.
Okay, the developer people in this room.
I'd love to work on I'd love to work on game design from simply a management perspective. I love working on Annihilation. I love drawing the ideas and talking to developers what we can and cannot do with our current engine and setup. Yeah, I'd love to do it as a job. I doubt I ever will, but you can dream.
Nice. Okay. Next question. What is the best technique for successful advertising for your game mode?
A good way of this, there's multiple ways you can advertise. One of the best ways nowadays is through obviously digital advertising, sort of exploiting. You got to look whether you have a budget or not. If you're lucky enough to have a budget, then great. There's so many ways you can do that. You can sort of inquire into YouTubers, streamers, sort of ad slots. But generally, I would go away from, if you do have a budget, any sort of ad slots or buying like Google Analytics or anything like that, because they're more designed for big companies that can pump a lot of money into it and have like all these big outreaching ads, and they're more for brand awareness. If you really want to see a difference on your game mode, then it's better to have sort of direct advertising, like YouTubers or streamers, because 100% of them people watching are interested in that game or that sort of type of game they're playing. So 100% that's going to be, you're getting your target audience straight off. That's what's so great about sort of inquiring to getting a streamer or YouTuber or anyone like that, because that you're getting what you need from there. Obviously, if you don't have a budget, this makes things a lot more difficult and will rely more on you being not only convincing, but being able to actually sort of show YouTubers or streamers that they will like your game mode, or they have or why they want to play it. There's so many ways to do this as well. Sort of simply just showing your story on subreddits for YouTubers or streamers to do with that game. Just showing your story, sharing your game mode, putting it out there. it's more difficult that way. But if you've got the passion behind it and you're willing to put in the man hours behind it, you can definitely get your sort of game mode out there to people.
Awesome. Let's see. Minecraft game development like game modes or making your own game kind of dev? I'm not sure what this question is asking. All right, we'll just go to the next one, I guess. Let's see. What are the typical processes you go through in coming up with a new game?
Well, first off, you need to know what kind of game you want to design or to develop. From there on, it's just lots of like designing and those stuff. From then, you need to actually start coding, start bug fixing, start coding even more, and even more bug testing, bug fixing. And from there on, you can like build up your own game, like your own original game. Well, game mode at least.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Last question for now. How many people does it usually take to make a large-scale game mode?
I assume Annihilation would count as that. Again,
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh dear. For Annihilation, we currently have about 3 to 4 developers working on it at the moment. And obviously that's a small update. So it depends, I think, on the speed of things. Obviously, Civ War, they've been in development for over, what was it, guys, 4 years? Only a couple of you. So obviously, if you guys had more developers, you'd probably get that a bit quicker. But heck, you can't always get that. So that's a subjective question. How quickly do you want to do it? If you want a big game mode, you want it next week, you're probably going to need a couple of 100 people. If you can wait a couple of years, maybe a couple of guys. That's it.
Nice. And I believe that was the last question. Oh, maybe not. No, one more. Would you do game development in Minecraft or rather make games in Unity?
They both have different feels because, like in Minecraft, it's the passion if you like the Minecraft game to make the game mode in Minecraft. Unity is more a professional thing, like indie developers and professional developing do that stuff. That's the big picture. But with Minecraft, you can really open your mind to something unlimited, so you can do something cool, and that's a gas. So you could actually in Minecraft, like that's one of the reasons why I love doing Minecraft coding is you can make the impossible possible in a block game. When you think something so simple can do something amazing, you just let it go.
All right, nice. Let's see, no more questions. So we are going to do the last section of the panel, and Shabu will be giving first some sneak peeks as to what their latest work is, and only exclusively for Craftathon donators listening in right now. So can we not spawn animals, please? Or mobs, for that matter? Jesse's telling me that the stream is it's getting annoying. So just like mini chickens is fine though. All right, so Merc, do you have any spoilers or anything?
Oh, spoilers. If you go to Twitter, you'll see a ton of spoilers. So anybody who's not followed the Shockbow Twitter, go there. You'll see a load of sneak peeks. So what can I tell you? I can tell you that there will be more explosions, bigger explosions, some rainbow walls, riding the rainbow wall. We've got a big change coming up, and it's to do with the overall game flow of Annihilation. So we currently have the game as it is, with the phases and how each phase interacts with the player's experience of the game. The core objective, defending your nexus versus destroying the enemy one. And we've got a tweak coming, which is going to fundamentally change the player's view of how they play the game. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be for the betterment of the game. We're going to really make it fun. I'm not going to tell what it is. You'll just have to wait. But it should be good. It should be good.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really hyped for that right now. Awesome. Let's see. Any spoilers for MindZ, Andrew?
The biggest thing with MindZ is we're kind of getting out of the gutter or the ditch recently. And so what we've been doing, really, and if you've been playing, you'd know, is basically going through and getting a lot of the stuff that's been broken for almost like 3 years. Things like Mindsy death messages, things like that, things like sickness, and we've just been going through and tweaking all of them. The biggest and most exciting thing coming out soon, and it's already been out a bit, is all Origins. And if you don't know what that is, I suggest you go in the forums and look at Halo Wars posts about it. But essentially, if you've ever done a Mindsy dungeon, Origins is like the everything together. It's a huge quest, and I can't leak anything about that because you just got to do it and figure it out. But there's also a world event coming up in relation to that, and that's sort of the big thing there with Mindsy. As far as sneak peeks go, honestly, I can't tell you because we've got so many ideas that we're just like sort of contemplating. And as we get these basically bugs and stuff fixed, we still got an issue with Giants we're working on. We're going to be pushing out tweaks and getting things changed. I don't know if I want to say anything because I haven't talked to Halo Wars about some of the stuff he suggested, but keep looking on the forums. If you dare go on the Reddit if you're brave enough. But definitely keep an eye out. We're posting. Another big thing I want to say, staff applications for Mindsy opened up 2 days ago. So definitely if you're interested in patrolling and even just giving your ideas, apply.
One thing I did forget to mention, apologies to steal the thunder, there will be another new class. I'm not going to say which one. All I will say is that it has been on the forums. So feel free to browse the forums and try and figure out which one. But I ain't saying anything.
Nice. Okay.
What
is this? Yeah?
There will be a few more legendaries coming out, some of which have also been discussed on the forums. Okay.
You're just trying to one-up me here now, Andrew. So,
oh my gosh. What is this beauty? I don't even know, man. Okay. Let's see. Next portion of our panel, and the last portion, will be any questions regarding Civ War or oh, sorry. Dallas and Benjamin, did you guys have something to announce about Civ War? Because I saw something in the Discord recently.
We do. We're happy to announce that closed beta will be starting next Saturday. And we hope it will be closed beta, so you will need to put in an application. So head over to our website, civ-war.com, and we're accepting all applications, whether you're new to the game or whether you're new to the game mode, or if you just want to try it out. We'll be looking for everyone to come and apply and hopefully try it out. So yeah, in terms of anything sort of, I know this wasn't really directed at us, but a few spoilers and things that we're planning for Civ War. We're hoping, we've been in talk, quite a big YouTuber who is very interested in playing it. So we're hoping to bring the hype a little bit more to Civ War and hope to bring you some more news in the future.
That sounds awesome. Okay, I completely forgot. But now we are going to the last portion of our game design panel, which is basically just asking any questions you guys have in general about Shoppo or Civ War. Let's see. Let's start the questions. There we go. And okay, I guess any questions. How tall is Murgatron?
I am bigger than 5 feet. I'm bigger than 5 feet, smaller than 6 feet. I can still rip your arms off because I'm a Wookiee. So there we go.
All right. Decent chicken. How are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good as well.
This is great, guys. Okay. Next question. How did you get players on your network?
I wish I could answer that, but I would be in violation of the EULA, so I'm not going to say. Make your games fun. Make sure that your server experience is good. And just keep positive. Try and maintain fair. Be fair. Be transparent. Be simple. And if players enjoy the content you put out, they will come.
All right. Let's see. Out of all 6 of you, who would win a PvP fight?
If it's bows, me. If it's anybody, if it's swords, I wouldn't. No, not a chance.
I'd wreck Doc.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see. Next question. No, I'm not answering that question. Do you find giving the players more complex or simple options features is more effective?
A little bit of both, I would say. Like sometimes you want to make it simple and easy so they feel like they're like this is gonna be totally. I'm sorry if you feel bad or condescending. Sometimes if you give them something simple, they feel amazing, and they're like, "Yeah, I did something," and then you make it complex, and then they get upset. So you kind of have to mix it both in a way.
All right.
It's balancing both. I mean, Annihilation, you obviously have multiple classes, so that gives you a lot of gameplay options. There are other ways that you can, you've got side objectives of Annihilation. So you can play a simple class like Transporter, so basically set a TP up, or you could do a bit more complicated. You could be, brewing invisible potions to rush, so that takes a bit of effort getting around bases and everything. So I think more complex or simple options features is not what I would be aiming for. I would be focusing on the variety. Obviously, that would apply for a game mode like Shotbow. Sorry, not Shotbow, Annihilation. Something like Mind Z, obviously, I mean, legendaries and weapons, you might be able to give a bit of more leeway, but at the end of the day with Mind Z, it's more or less get good. Get good. Isn't it, Andrew?
Nice. Basically, yes.
All right. Moving on. Sunlost asks, can you answer my ban appeal, Murgatron?
No, I'm not in charge of ban appeals anymore. No. No.
All right. Any other questions, guys? No.
So I wanted to say real quick, since the guy asked the question about Wasted earlier, it is coming back. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you like pizza?
Hawaiian.
Pizza's good. Gluten free.
Someone just say Hawaiian. Does that include pineapple?
Yes, it does
Right,
include pineapple.
Get out.
No. Pineapple deserves to be on pizza.
Exactly. I like boneless pizza.
What is this boneless pizza? What the heck is this? Boneless pizza? Somebody having pork rib pizza or something silly. The heck?
That is a pizza. Quality question, Andrew.
Thank you for that.
Do you have any allergies? I guess.
I'm allergic to gluten. Like it will destroy me. That's why I said gluten free.
I guess that's the last question. Do you guys wanna?
Dogs, unfortunately. I'm allergic to dogs, so my partner has a dog, so I love him. He's a cute little dog, but every time he comes around, I just feel myself sort of going, headache, sinuses.
Let's see. How long is Dot Code Sharp's personality?
I don't know what that means. I don't. I'm confused.
Me too. Don't worry. Let's see. Do you like chicken?
No.
Oh, chicken is amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
Who doesn't
Always
like
down at the KFC. If you're not at KFC, then what are you doing?
I agree.
I love it. Boneless banquet.
Sorry, you call the stuff, for lack of a better word, that comes out of KFC chicken? Really? Get yourself a proper nice free-range chicken that you raise yourself.
At this point, I don't care what they put in that boneless chicken, but I'd have it every day. It tastes so good.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you like the art about the seats?
What?
Above the seats, you meant.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's.
What is it?
Here. Let's do a comparison because there was another question. Navarre, could you come right here? Just right here. Stand right here. Where's Navarre?
Over there. Down.
There's Navarre. Just right here. Okay, guys, could we have which one is better, the art or Navarre?
The tree over here.
I mean, I'm gonna go for my beautiful Nexus. I mean, it's so pretty.
I've got to say, this is definitely an upgrade.
Someone lost the game.
Rip.
Oh, really?
I just lost the game.
Dash it all.
No, Doc, what are you doing?
What was the last movie I've seen? I saw Fight Club for the first time last night. It is insanely awesome.
Alright guys, I think that's gonna be it for this part of the stream. We might be on later or making that video for party, but whenever that is. And we see you next time for another part of the stream, hopefully. But for now, I think that's it for this panel. They're spoiling everything. See you guys next time, though. RainbowKappa out. Bye.